kind of stuff I want to bring to the table anyway. Are we good? Okay. Welcome back, everyone, to I guess we're calling this my mum's lounge. Back to my mum's house. Darren's here with us today. Darren's a good friend of mine. Thanks for coming, by the way, mate.
Yeah, good to see you, my friend. Yeah,
have a coffee with you. We've known each other a few years now. I can't even remember the first time we met, actually.
No.
I know there was a B&I knocking about somewhere.
Yeah.
Really early on.
But I think we initially bumped into each other maybe years ago at one of the Chamber of Commerce Business Festival. I think Lee introduced, didn't he? Initially.
Lee?
Yeah, Little Lee, who we both knew. A long time. He's moved. It was a good few years ago. He moved. Worked at Empower.
I have no idea who the hell you're on about, mate. That's sure, embarrassing.
Yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't see this.
I'm sure Lee introed us. I can't remember how he said he knew, but it was literally just a brief passing conversation. That me and Lee were there, you were there separate.
Yeah,
Lee introed
really
us.
Quick. Yeah.
Maybe you just met at an event. I don't. Maybe it wasn't.
Yeah, but if I knew who the bloody hell it was, I tell you.
You were at events left, right, and centre.
Yeah, back then, because we met really quite early on into me starting my
100%
journey into entrepreneurship or whatever. Early COVID years, and you had been about a lot with the charities back then, I think, hadn't you? Really?
Yeah.
So let's sort of because I've never really asked you. We sort of caught up from then on, and it's been a really interesting journey. Just because I sort of it's a weird relationship that we have, in my opinion, and in that it's a solid relationship, just because you're a real guy. And I explained that a little bit more, I suppose, just being like, the guy's legit. And there's no bullshit, there's no messing about. What he sees, what you get. And it's not like, you're not money motivated, you're actually impact driven, which I love.
Impact driven, yeah.
Yeah, I love impact driven entrepreneurs. And I love working with impact driven entrepreneurs because it's never about the money.
Yeah.
And the world is a lot bigger than that. So, and it is just, there's and you've seen me through some really rough times in the last 5-6 years that we've known each other, and I'll go into some of that detail. But you've always, it's always just been like, and you're a reliable bloke as well, I'd say.
Appreciate that, man. And same right back at you.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know why that connection is just always and it's never been motivated by business. Yeah. It's never been motivated by money. It's just been sort of motivated in, and you've helped me, I've helped you. We just catch up, share ideas.
Yeah.
There's no sort of
ideas off each other.
There's never like, when's he going to turn into a client and pay me?
Yeah.
Neither of us have sort of had that sort of, and I love the sort of the situation. I have to sort of bring it up visually. I love this because I'm me.
Yeah.
And you're a skinhead with a neck tattoo. Which I just think this is just a wicked relationship, because it's just, people will probably look at us and go, cool. Has he kidnapped him or something? Because this isn't normal. But it definitely, and it is, I suppose this is, but ignorantly, it's a reflection of what is to be. But on that note, you've got 2 neck tattoos, haven't you?
Yeah. Well,
right, take us through them.
I'll tell you a funny story about that. So, like working for the probation, and doing that work for the probation, you're working with people who've just come out of jail, getting readjusted back to the community, and like, although mainly working that in the Stoke-on-Trent areas, I suppose on a bank staff basis, really. Well, you're getting your business off the ground, and it's extra money coming in. I went to an hostel that I'd never been before in Derby, and the first 5 people who I spoke to were, "What prison have you just come from, mate?" And I'm like, I work here. Like, the next guy was like, how long have you been in here for, mate? I'm like, I work here. And that happened like 5 times. And then eventually one went, "Oh, are you the chef?" "No, I'm not the fucking chef. I work here."
You don't want me to be the chef, mate.
But, luckily, because of what I do, knowing that work that I do with men and that work, it's always been like the breakdown of a barrier instead of putting a barrier in place, so it's always worked really in my favour. It's like, you're not in this, although I wear a suit and tie, but you're not that like sort of teacher look. One of the things that I was thinking about this, actually, funny that we're having this conversation earlier on today, is when I worked at the O'Connor Centre, when I was managing the rehab, one of the guys, and it's the best piece of advice I've probably ever had in the remit of the work that I do, was as soon as you come across like everybody else, you've lost them. You've got to come across different than the social worker, different than the police officer, different than the prison officer, different than the overbearing parent. Because as soon as you come across the same as them, your trust's gone, and it is, with boys and with men.
Same with the legal industry.
Yeah.
You come across
like everyone
just
else.
like everyone else.
Right.
You're part of the problem, then, aren't you? As to why people can't. Because not that it's quite different, but one of the similarities that we share in that case is approachability.
Approachability, yeah.
Because that was one of the hardest things when I started Soul Legal. It was always, well, lawyers are just not approachable.
Okay.
They're also quite expensive.
Right.
And where would we even find one for what we need?
Okay.
So that's when I was, like you said, I was constantly at events, because at the time that was all. I didn't have loads of money for marketing.
Right.
But I looked different. I acted different. I spoke different, and I was in front of them.
And it's relationships, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's where exactly what you're saying is true, because you sort of not coming across as an authority figure.
Yeah. Well, the first neck tattoo I got, which was obviously had to be
that one was first.
Big, I can't remember which.
Obviously, he was high or drunk all those years.
So the rose is the first one. So that's got my daughter's name through it. I think that's that side.
That's right.
Can't remember which is which. And not very rock and roll. Although I was always into like the rock and roll music. I had to like ask permission to the boss at the rehab. Luke, this is what I'm thinking of doing. Of getting my neck tattooed. Is that okay? I thought
even as a member of staff, you had to ask.
Well, maybe I didn't need to ask. Maybe I just felt like it was better to ask than just say something. I didn't like say, "Can I do?" I said, "Look, this is what I'm thinking of doing. Is this going to sort of impact my role?" And the guy actually said to me, no, not at all. Basically, like do what you want. However, he then, like I suppose, tried to give me a bit of like a underhand lecture. He was like, however, what if you're no longer working here? And what about others? I was like, well, that's my problem for you. Well, then I thought, why is he thinking of sacking?
That's it, I'm done.
Yeah, don't do that. And then tomorrow, you gone, mate. See you later. Give us the excuse that we need to.
This is wicked.
But it was a really, really big decision, because it's obviously going to limit you to certain paths that you're going down. You're not going to go and get a job as a teacher. No one's. If I want to be a teacher, you're not going to employ you with a neck tattoo. And I think there would be that. Although I've never personally felt it, there would be that discrimination in certain roles. There's no doubt. But then again, there's also common sense. If you're getting tattoos on your face or whatever, and then you go for one, they haven't employed me, and it's like, well, you need to think about your choices in a certain line of work,
isn't it? Yeah.
That would work really well, and that is, like I say, for me, it's always worked in my favour, because especially with the young lads we're working with, they see it as like you're a bit more approachable, approachability, like you say, rather than don't approach him, like sort of thing. It's you're dealing with people that are potentially going down the wrong path and stuff. So it breaks a boundary down, really, I think, rather than put one up, which is good.
And then so the second one is like a crown sort of thing.
So the second one is Dreams to Goals after sort of getting the first book. So
is that what that is?
Yeah, that was to mark that occasion.
That's weird.
It was get something that you want forever. But you want, that doesn't need to be for anybody else. I'm never going to get sick of my book, so it was that was like the next one.
We'll go into the books in a sec, because I really want to talk about those. But also something I'm trying to pick up on you mentioning about like the tattoos and it just actually working in your favor. I think that's epic. And one of the things we all actually forget is the thing that differentiates us, and we're trying to make ourselves fit in.
Yeah,
is actually the worst thing to do. Like
100%.
The thing that differentiates you
100%.
is the one you want to use to market you as an individual.
Yeah.
It was. I even had really early on, and it was a lady actually with who you've come across, Leah Turner on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
She's got tattoos.
She's
a lovely person, by the way. One of the nicest people you'll ever meet. And then you two are the only two people I know with neck tattoos.
Oh, right, okay,
There's a lot about my upbringing, doesn't it, really? But and she mentioned to me really, really early on about my hair.
Right.
And she was like, did you grow your hair out after you left law? And I was like, actually, you know what? I did, actually.
Right.
Because she, again, just thought well, this is what lawyers look like. And so she looked at me and was like, well, surely that's a no-go in the legal industry. And it probably, it wouldn't have been. I mean, it depends if you're in a really stuffy, arsey office.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I never got into that. I was just in the dingy ones, so you get away with whatever. Well, you get away with a lot more. But and I think it's not just especially with you, and I think with everyone, even if you didn't have the tattoos, I think you've made yourself somehow just so approachable because there's just no ego.
Yeah.
And it is just like, there's something about it, isn't there? But I like to think that I do the same.
Yeah, definitely.
Because for us, it's actually, we are impact driven.
Yeah.
Both of us love helping people.
Yeah.
And for us, that is way more important than me going, this is what suit I'm wearing, this is what car I'm driving. And so we actually come in and when you start, and this was very different when I started business and compared to being in employment, when you can really choose the kind of people that you're hanging around with, you automatically just bring in those kind of people.
Yeah, you attract, you attract more. Yeah, you attract who you are, sort of thing.
Yeah,
that's the thing, I think, isn't it?
And it fits like the whole. You sort of become the thing that you want to be, don't you? Really?
Yeah,
holistically, I guess I am. If people looked at me and you look at the clothes he's wearing. He's very typical. Like, used to be a lawyer, works with successful entrepreneurs, and comes from a private school background. People would look at me and go, "Yeah." If I said to you I went to private school, you go, "Yeah, probably did."
Yeah,
he looks like someone that did. Or whatever, you know. Or he's got loads of Ralph Lauren jumpers. Yeah, probably has, because he looks like the kind of guy that would.
They comment on that jumper today.
I know, exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
I can't even wear jumpers now. It's like, but you sort of. It is, once you come into your own, and it's just you fit in.
You do. You I think you find who you are, don't you, as you get older, and you sort of your clothes sort of mould who you are. Like I hate this sort of old term of, like, don't be judgmental. Everybody's judgmental. Like, people who pretend that they're not judging.
Yeah.
Well, you're judging where
do
I want that person in my circle? Like, is that person fitting for a partner? Is this you can't help but judge. It's not like necessarily like a bad thing. However, you can, it's that old "don't judge a book by a cover," isn't it? You can see tattoos and think, like, well, I don't like tattoos, because obviously, go back years ago, they were associated with black person.
Yes, well, skinheads.
If
I saw you.
Yeah.
I'm going to cross the road.
Yeah, the only reason I haven't shaved my head today is because I got sunburnt when I went to Spain, and like, I don't want it all peeling off.
Well, no, exactly. But everybody does, don't they? And this is why my point when the subject of racism comes up. Right. And I always say that, okay, yes, if I'm walking of an evening and there's Weatherspoons, I might just cross the road and walk on the other side.
Okay.
If I see a bunch of people that look a certain way, I might cross the road. But right or wrong in that is another thing. What I'm getting at is that I then need to make sure that I'm not going, well, there's a bunch of people that are racist towards me who are of a certain skin colour and have neck tattoos. But I need to make sure that in my head I don't go, well, all of them are racist.
Yeah, 100%.
Because then, am I not being racist?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's interesting.
Aren't I? Yeah. Because I'm going, right, so everyone who's white with neck tattoos and skinhead is going to be a racist.
Yeah.
I need to always make sure, and I always remind myself, and always report when I'm talking to people in the younger generation as well, I'll always go, but you can't tar everyone else with the same brush, because then you're being the problem.
True story,
you're part of the problem.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, it's just impossible. I'm sorry, it is impossible that everyone with neck tattoos is racist. So I know two people with neck tattoos are far from racist.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's obviously not all the same.
And I think we have those sort of unconscious biases, don't we? That come whether they come from the media or
upbringing.
Where do they come from?
For me, it's upbringing.
But they do. I can remember when Ellie was at school, and they got some like little. There's two separate stories. She was at home with her mum, and they got some of them. Remember when we used to get the tattoos off the ice cream man and stuff like that? They were like similar to that. And her mum was like, "Should we put it in?" She goes, "No, but like put it on my neck where Dad is." And that. Mum was like horrified, and the mum's got a couple of tattoos, but she was like, "What have you done? What have you done to her?"
Oh no. Yeah.
And then there was another time when she was at school, and she'd got like a crayon, and she'd gone like this. With
yeah.
And the teacher's like, "What's that?" And it was like a tattoo.
She's like my dad's.
My mum's like,
yeah. And the kids are that influential, aren't they?
Yeah. They don't even understand what they is. They just want to be like the parents.
Yeah, because you're her hero at that point, weren't you? Really?
Yeah,
so that's why she wants to be like her dad.
She's 18. She hasn't got any yet.
No,
not as I know of. Anyway.
Yeah. I can't see her getting a neck tattoo. I met her a few times. She's not that kind of person.
She's not. No, I don't think she is. And I don't think, the first one I had, it was like bottom of my ankle. I think it was like 17, got it done up Hanley. He shouldn't have even done it, but he did. And it didn't look 17, it probably looked about like 14 or something. And I just did it for ages, and then I was on holiday, and my dad clocked it on holiday. What's that? And that once he found out about that, then I just got more.
But so what was it? This again. I mean, this is so revealing. This is the first time you've actually ever mentioned your dad in front of me.
Yeah. Oh never. Yeah. Never,
so tell me a little bit. I mean, you're born and bred Stoke.
Yeah, born in Kidsgrove. Went to school in Kidsgrove. Yeah. Mum and dad split up, moved to Biddulph.
So pause there. I've been up to Kidsgrove. That's heavily white.
Yeah. I suppose it was then.
Is it not now?
I don't know. I don't know.
But it was heavy, and it was very working class.
Very working class. Yeah, very working. Pit was there once. It had a pit there. I think they had a couple of pits
and they had a big pop bank, wasn't it?
I think they did. Yeah,
Churchill, I think, was across there, wasn't it, or something?
Not far. Yeah, not far. Dad was a plumber, so also say very working class.
So on your mum and dad's side, your grandparents and all that were from Stoke as well. This is very much the lineages in Stoke.
I think more Newcastle way.
Okay.
So I always remember.
So you got a bit of poshness in you.
Nan and Granddad on my dad's side, who were Newcastle way. Granddad was a plumber.
Right.
And I think his dad was a plumber.
Right.
So I think that was passed down.
Yeah.
But like my dad was didn't want. Completely tried to talk me and Gaz out of going down that route. Don't down on your knees. It's a dirty job. But it's a skill that we probably could have done with learning.
And he's older than you, is he, your brother?
No, 3 years younger, Gareth is.
So you're the oldest?
Yeah.
So your mum was still about. So it's you two have a different mum, don't you?
Brett.
With Brett.
Yeah,
okay, so
no, same mum, different dad with Brett.
Okay.
Me and Gaz, same mum and dad.
That's it, right.
Split up.
It's Brett that's different. Okay.
Mum met Alan, Brett's dad.
Yes.
So Brett.
And you were young then?
We always call him my brothers. No half brother or anything.
Did you all live together at one point?
No, we didn't. No, we never lived together. Actually, got really sort of close as I suppose as you get older, because there's 13 years difference between me and Brett, which you don't even think of as when you're older, do you?
No, it doesn't look that.
When you're younger.
Yeah.
But when you're older, it's not even there. It's not even a gap, is it?
Yeah, I noticed that with my brother.
Yeah.
There's 9 years between me and my brother.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
And you sort of, as we got older and older, I mean, there's obvious differences. He's got wife and kids and all the house and all the rest of it. Right. So obvious differences. But then as you mature, you actually start, the gap closes.
Definitely.
When you're 9, 10 years old, it seems like a huge gap because he's an adult, he's going out and getting pissed.
Yeah.
And I'm in bed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's very, but as you get older, sort of that gap shortens.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I think there's always been a massive connection with all of us, really.
You're quite close with Brett, actually,
gets on with our dads, we see each other in passing and stuff and have a chat. There's always been, I suppose, an underlying connection with that. Everyone's always into the music. So it was we were going to gigs and stuff with Brett and stuff. And we still do, we still go the odd gig here and there, even though he's obviously on the entrepreneurial journey, same as us.
Yes,
Gaz isn't,
but your dad was kind of self-employed technically, wasn't he?
Yeah, which you never really think of. You think that's probably where some of it come from. That self-employed.
This is a conversation
years when a lot of people weren't as well.
Yes,
back in the sort of the 70s, late 70s, early 80s, where a lot of people were working for people.
It's true, and it's the conversation I had with Ruben as well. He didn't know. But his granddad on his mum's side had petrol stations in Africa.
Okay, wow.
And he had no clue. Right. And it was one of the things that we had, how much of you were influenced before you know, because my granddad was a sort of an entrepreneur. He was a bit of a trust fund rich kid, actually. Right. As was my dad. But there was, he was handed over assets in a business that he had to then carry on and move forward.
Which is a lot of pressure in that.
Yeah, because it's, and this is something, I've never really understood. Not that I do now, but it's not easy being a trust fund rich kid either. Not that I know. Yeah. But there is a lot of pressure that comes with it. But it was, and I get a bit of influence from my mum's mum, who was just like your mum.
Right.
like how you describe your mum, like this is how it goes and this is the way it is, and it's all about me. That's what my nan was a bit. But then she was ruled with an iron fist. My mum's got 3 brothers. Mum's the eldest, and my mum ruled with an iron fist, sort of. Nowhere near what my nan did. Right. But that was the influence for us. It was the influence coming over from a different country. Can't speak the language, don't understand the food and all the rest of it. So you got to be like, get your shit together. And my nan did, and that's why she became a seamstress. Actually, she's tried to weird influences. She was actually a very, very good seamstress, and then started making men's suits.
Oh, nice!
And now I started doing a little bit of the fashion stuff as well.
So funny how stuff finds out. The influence is
there. So your mum, we've talked about your mum, a strong woman, isn't she?
Yeah.
No bullshit. No messing around.
Quite opinionated. Doesn't mind telling anybody. So I suppose from there, really, my dad later got remarried. We moved to Biddulph. We lived with my dad.
Oh, okay.
Went Longton way, and then like say that influence a lot as I've got older, I've gravitated towards Longton way and ended up living more that way.
Yeah. So you went to school in
Kidsgrove, first school, which would have been because Biddulph's got like a weird system. Biddulph's got like a middle school.
It's a bit of a weird place.
Which I don't know a lot of places that have got the sort of first school, middle school, high school.
Yeah.
So you're actually at middle school. I think it's for like 2 years or something. So that's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Or 3 years it might be.
And then you go into high school after that.
Yeah. And then you go to high school after that. So we finished. So we moved there halfway kind of through the schooling, which is always a bit awkward, isn't it? Because you've got to try and fit in and stuff.
Yeah.
And then did high school there. And then, as time's gone on, gravitated back towards this one. And weirdly, actually, it never really came off. But me and Lewis went and had a chat at my old school about doing a workshop in there, like, and it was just weird to go back, like after.
You went to my old school. I had a chat with my old school as well, didn't you? Yeah. It's a weird going back and having a look, isn't it? Because I go back every now and again now.
Right.
A lot more than I used to.
Yeah.
Because I've got the ability to do so with the businesses.
Yeah.
I spoke to an old teacher of mine who was probably one of my biggest influences through high school.
Oh, nice.
And I managed to speak to her a few years ago. And I kept looking for her. I couldn't find her anywhere, like on Facebook and LinkedIn and stuff. And it was only until I started Instagram that I found her.
Okay.
And we had a Zoom. And I hadn't seen her probably in about 12 years.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't a massive, but that's a long time. And a lot had happened in between. And she'd moved to America.
Right, okay. Whereabouts?
Texas.
Oh, nice.
Because her husband, who was also a teacher at our school, was a massive. Our school was huge on sport. You've seen what Denston's like, haven't you? It's massive sports school. And he was a sports. He used to be a former rugby player and stuff like that. So he got called because over the States, you know what it's like with sports in the States.
Oh, they love it. It's
big
huge. Yeah.
So he went over to do the training. So she went with him.
Which is one of the things with Ellie. She wants to go to a school that's the uni when she goes over that's big on the sports.
Yes, they all are.
Most of them.
They all are. But yeah, no. One of the first questions, literally, she said she asked, or it was a comment that was made. She said, "School was really hard for you, wasn't it?"
Right.
And at that point, I was like, I didn't answer for a good couple of seconds because I remembered that it was a shitstorm, actually. Because you just remember it as being, I remember it, I went out there and I had a fag with my mates and all the rest of it. But you don't remember how much of a mess it was until someone reminds you.
True.
And so school can be really hard to sort of go back to.
But
at the same time, you feel like you want to give something back, don't you?
Yeah, I did a talk in Biddulph High School as well in front of a class, which was nice because that was my high school. It was actually the middle school that me and Lewis went. And it was nice, and this is like weird as well that I'm conversing backwards and forwards with this woman via email about she's the head of careers, and it was about talking about a little bit about the Brookes really, and showing the kids that there's alternate routes that you can kind of go down, which I wish I'd had because I didn't, we didn't have those chats, did we?
Yeah.
So I'm conversing with backwards and forwards via email with this woman, and I get there. And I go to the reception and say, "Oh yeah, we'll go and get it." And she was in my year at school, but obviously she got married, so I didn't realise I'm conversing with somebody who's got a different second name.
Wicked.
So that was that was quite like a blast.
I love that. Yeah.
You come. What year were you in?
Wow.
You were in my year.
Proper connection.
So it was nice. Strange, but but nice as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, you go back through. I don't really know whether I've got either bad or good memories of school. I don't really think it's probably like quite a balance, really. I don't really feel like it did a lot for me at the time. But
I agree. Yeah, and academically,
when I look at certain aspects that were taken from it, they've set me up further down the line. And I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason anyway.
Yeah.
But what I always had an issue with is how much pressure was put on you to decide what you want to do. But looking back now, and I've moaned about that for years, but looking back now, I see that what you 100% needed, I think, is your next step. You didn't need to know what you wanted to do with the rest of your life. However, you did need to know what's the next step. And I think if they'd have just played a little bit more to that rather than, we need to decide what you want to do, like 15. It's like, work it to like 67, probably like 87 by the time we retire. So why do we need to know? But if they just like sort of said, well, you need to know this next step. Is it college? Is it work? Is it apprenticeship? Not necessarily. You don't need to have it all figured out, but you do need to know this next step, because after that, I was just aimlessly banging from pillar to post like for a long time, really. And I think if I'd have had that next step sussed, didn't need to be the whole life mapped out. It just needed to be what's next step. I went to college 5 times, like I knew what every college was like.
Yeah.
It was like Charles Bronson did the tour of the prisons and wrote, well, I could have wrote all the colleges and stuff.
A little bit different. Yeah. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, maybe it might not have the same amount of readers. I went 5 times, and I fucked up every single year. I dropped out, I kicked out.
Yeah.
My parents got called into college once. I didn't even know this happened at college.
Yeah,
I thought that was just school.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, my mum went when I was at college. I went to Newcastle College, and my mum went to parents' evening. And I was so pissed off.
Right.
I was like, "Come on, I'm 17.
Yeah,
it can't be happening." I was so, but it is a big problem with schools, and I think and I'm not going to have a pop at anyone or anything. It's a system issue.
Yeah, it is a system issue. It is a system.
And one of my
works for some, and it doesn't work for others.
It works for very few.
Yeah, you probably
and it works for those few who are just going to end up being very good at being employed at a certain area, or if you want to do maths or science or something, brilliant.
Yeah.
But for anyone who doesn't want to do that, it's a big problem.
Well, all the rules of business is all the stuff that they tell you at school. It's complete opposite.
It's the opposite.
Don't copy off anyone. Don't get anyone else to do your work. In business, that's all the stuff you need.
You're definitely going to copy.
Get the best person.
Why would you want to be the first one?
You
take what they've done, make it better.
You emulate what's been done good, and like saying, do it better. You get the best person for the job on, facilitators or whatever. It's
right.
Like, the whole reason we're doing quite well as the founder is because the 3 of us, we all like doing different stuff, and no one wants to to team aspect.
Yeah, and there's a problem. Academia is about individuality, isn't it?
Yeah.
What have you done? And then what's the old Napoleon Hills would say? Well, all you're doing is copy and pasting information and put it on another piece of paper.
Yeah,
but that's not real life.
No,
you can use your brain for a storage of facts.
Yeah,
but life isn't a pub quiz.
100%.
You need to use your brain for thinking at some point.
Yeah, and a lot of that information, like that's a good way of putting it about like a pub quiz. A lot of it's irrelevant, isn't it?
Yeah, it's massively irrelevant.
It's like, why have you taught me that?
In real life today, you pull out a calculator on your phone.
Interesting story. Like when I was running like the dads group, there was a dad on there who he was stressed to the max, and he was getting basically prosecuted, fined, whatever it was, because his son wouldn't go to school. And
who's been fined because his son wouldn't want to go?
His son wouldn't go to school. Yeah, so his son's 13, and he just could not keep him in school.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm trying everything. He won't go." So this lad's 13. His dad's a mechanic with his own garage.
Oh, nice.
And
very, very needed profession in this world.
100%.
Very respected in my world. As a
how this panned out or why it panned out, I don't know. But his son ended up going into college at 13, like 1 day a week. This kid's 13. They were calling him Mr. Mechanic. They said like what this kid didn't know about cars. He was loving it. It was just like that's what he wanted to do, and it's I know you can't stay at home, but there's got to be that like sort of balance and give somewhere.
Yeah.
Can we get him in there? I don't even think I wouldn't even go as far as say you need your maths and English. You need to be able to read. You need to be able to like probably add up a little bit. But it's like they're making him do something he absolutely hates, And these older kids are calling him Mr. Mechanic because he knows at 13 more about cars than any of them do.
Yeah.
Because he's learned it all from seeing his dad do it, and probably wants to be his dad's his hero, like you said earlier.
And that kid was born to be a mechanic.
Yeah.
Facts. Yeah. And he's very lucky at 13 to know that. But then the adults who are supposed to be guiding him are actually pulling him away from that.
And could potentially be pushing him down a route where he'll just throw it all in and go into crime or, get pulled in by the wrong crowd because he doesn't go.
Because what's his
where
release?
He obviously wants to be a mechanic. Like I say, born to do that.
Yeah. And there's absolutely, and this is the problem, isn't it? One of the problems with academia, it's like the negativity of someone who's like a plumber or a gasman or a mechanic.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Well, what about when your boiler pops?
Yeah.
What, do you want the mathematician?
They were like sort of painted at school as if it was like a secondary thing.
Yeah.
Like,
it's for the poor working class.
10 grand a week.
Mate, come on, I know. And they're chilling. Got their big fat... I mean, we know some of them. They've got these massive, like, 80k pickup trucks. Right, just do a bit of plastering. It's 400 quid for a wall. Go home, chilling.
Yeah. Smashing.
And they've got apprentices all over the place. Helping out the next generation. Doing some wicked work.
Yeah.
The world needs everyone.
100%.
And you can't then go, oh, well, you don't want to be a plasterer because
finding your niche, innit, and what you love doing and doubling down on it, and I think that's what's not encouraged.
Yeah, and I think another thing that isn't really encouraged at all, which and our generation didn't have it, and that's why we're going through it so much, is the identity crisis that we're having, and the ability to go, well, I used to be this, and now I'm this, and now I'm that, and I've had it with going from the legal stuff to the fashion stuff. Yeah. You've had it a couple of times in life, haven't you? Going from various... 100%. Take us through it again. So we've got from college and stuff. So you kind of just
drifted,
to post, weren't you, really?
Yeah, drifted, drinking, drugs, going down in with the wrong people, travelling, all this stuff, trying to I suppose, fill a hole, really. Yeah. Not even probably seeing that at the time. From an outside perspective, it was probably like, oh, he's having a great time. He's off living in Spain. He lives in the sun. He's out all the time. And it was like, but I was fucking lost, man. That was the bottom line.
You're running away.
Running away. Trying to said this not so long ago. It's like I always said then, oh, Stoke's a shit. Oh, I don't like living here. It's nothing to do with Stoke. It was trying to run away from me. Ended up living in Spain. Stayed there for 3 years. I was tarmacking with the Irish Travellers, was handing out flyers, was working in kitchens, all different jobs, whatever really. It was on holiday for 3 years. People coming over on holiday, and I was living that life, what they were living for a week, every day. Which that shit catches up with you. You can't. I suppose look at it as abusing the body, or you're not eating well, you're not eating the right stuff. You're just going from pillar to post. But ultimately, I met Ellie's mum over there. So we were probably two lost souls at the time. Pink Floyd tune, two lost souls swimming at the fish bowl. But I wanted to come back because I just had enough of this holiday type lifestyle.
Do you think you'd grown up then, or was it just that you were bored of running away?
I think I'd had enough. It was like I needed a little bit of structure and normality,
stability.
Even if it was, which it did turn out, but even if it was just a shit job of getting up, go work, come home,
some sort of routine,
any rather than you're out all night. You sleep in the day, you get up, you go work, because a lot of the jobs were night jobs. Yeah. But because everybody's doing that, you don't really feel that there's anything wrong with that, because everybody's on that page. It wasn't you live in Spain, but you get up and you go work in a factory. It's you live in Spain, working with tourists on bars or handing out flyers or in kitchens. It was Benidorm ultimately, so it was, people call it Blackpool in the sun. But that was after probably 3 months of travelling, and it was right now we need to get some work. We spent the money what we'd saved up go travelling, so we ended up getting a job. Going a place where we could get a job. Well, actually, what actually happened was we were in a place called Vaquetas de Mar. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's near Almeria.
In Spain, isn't it?
So great place. It's quite close to the African border, so it's really hot, really good weather. Well, we'd been there 2 or 3 years previous when my stepmom and dad, with me, my dad and Gaz, We've been on holiday, had a really good time. So we're travelling around. We're like, oh, why don't we go there? And we got knew the guy who ran the apartment block. We'll go and see if he's still about. So we went there, and when we were there on holiday, there was a Belgian guy there who was constantly playing Hotel California by the Eagles.
Oh,
he just had it on. He just had it on. Great tune.
Yeah.
Had it on repeat.
Yeah.
So the guy, to the point where the guy behind the bar, he'd made some cocktails called Hotel California.
Yeah.
You know, they just got everything.
And it's like a 7-minute song or something
Yeah,
that goes on, doesn't it?
So these
Have you never heard it?
got...
Have you heard it? It's before, way before your time, anyway. It's a wicked song.
Great.
The Eagles, what a band as well. Carry on.
So just doing like any old job over there, really.
Right.
Like, but it was
at that point, it's like, well, not survival, but just paying for expenses.
Just paying to live. You know, you can live month to month, can't you? But it was like you were paid daily, so really you were living by the day, which was like weird. But people were coming over on holiday and like they were like, oh, you know, we'd love to do what you're doing, and it's like most of the people over there were running away, like from probably some from criminal stuff that they'd done. But I think
that's what Spain was back in the day, wasn't it?
Spain was. Yeah. But I think like some people from like say from themselves, really.
Yeah.
And you were out drinking every night, so you were like sort of partying all the time. And I wanted to go back for that sort of structured routine. And Ellie's mum didn't want to go back. She was happy carry on running away, I suppose.
Yeah.
So it was like when it sort of came to the crunch, it was like, right, well, we'll go back, but let's go back to where you're from.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, because you didn't come back to Stoke initially, did you?
No, so I went to the northeast. Yeah. So that was the deal. And then I got a job in this, it was a car manufacturer's place. And I was pressing this button. This machine was come down, pick this fucking part up, took it over there. I was doing that for like 9 hours. And I thought, what have you done? Like,
what the hell?
What have you done? And I remember going, it was loud, so you had earplugs in. So even the person on the machine next to you, there was no like banter or joke with anyone. You had your break. It was on a night shift. I had my break. You were on your own. And I remember sitting down at the canteen, and I like glimpsed at the wall, and there was like, congratulations on 25 years. And I thought, I will kill myself if I'm here in 25 years' time. Like, I couldn't even like comprehend being there
for
25 years. Yeah. But as you say about sort of kids, very working class town. Yeah. It was like it was that sort of era, or coming to the end of that era, where you got a job and you got a job for life. There was people who'd been there.
Well, you did what your dad was doing.
You did what your dad
worked at your dad's place.
So there was people
went to the same pub, went to the same working men's club,
club, and the working men's club up there. Sort of like talking about the racism and stuff, like the blatant like sort of sexism. Like there was the club up there. They still had a room where the women couldn't go. And this was only 2005. Ellie was born 2007, so it's 2005, 2006.
So you'd have still had the sign "No dogs allowed" and all of that sort of stuff.
There was literally a room where the women couldn't go, and it was from the pit days. So the blokes would go in, they'd spend the wages in then, and they'd take home to the wife what they got left and say, "This is what I've earned." After when they spent what they'd spent in the pub. So, I don't know if it's still, I can't even imagine it's still like that now.
No, I mean, the working men's club's probably not even there.
No, but like the women, like a woman would walk in and it'd be like, boo, like people booing and stuff like that. Yeah. Crazy. And it was like, although like, Stoke's made up of a small collection of towns, it was a really small town there. And I got that job and then, really didn't like that job. Got on at this other place. And somebody actually put me onto the job. I think it was Ruth's brother-in-law at the time. And 3 people came up and spoke to me. They were like, "Oh, you're Darren, aren't you?" And it freaked me out. I'm like, "Who?
Oh, really?
Do you know who are you? Who are you?" Like, I didn't know any of these people. Like, and because it was such a small town life, like everyone knew everyone. So it was like, "Oh, this is Ruth's fella. He's from Stoke." Like, and they just just knew. Like, Ruth's brother-in-law, he fixed cars. Funny that we're on about like cars, and all his work came from the working men's clubs and things like that. So just like everyone knew everyone. Funny story on that. Like, I won't sort of mention his name, but it was like he'd had like a bad back for years, still working, claiming. I think it wouldn't have been like PIP at the time.
Yes.
and somebody grassed him up.
Oh no!
For work, in fact, he'd working and stuff. The guy who come round, like, knocks on the door, and he's like saying, "Oh, hey, you're all right? I didn't realise it was you. Whack the kettle on, like." So he whacks the kettle on, like as he's fixing his car, like the good guy who come out to investigate. We'll sign all this paperwork off, like, no issue here, like, have a quick coffee. We'll catch up for a pint next time I see you, and off he went.
Well, that's networking.
Proper networking, isn't it? Just he knew the guy who come out for investigating.
Right, that's all right, isn't it?
So that was it. Like, yeah, we'll sign this off. No issue.
Carry on.
Like, see you for a pint next week. So it was that real sort of small town life, which I kind of wasn't used to. Like, I was always.
Because you'd seen Spain, or
seen Spain, Stoke, with it being a collection of towns, you might know somebody, but like you go to another town, it was just there. It was like just everybody knew everybody, but like that all, which was really good because it was that community feel. But there was also the everybody knows everybody's business sort of feel as well.
And it was frowned upon to step out of that community.
It was, So like I won't delve too much into that, but like. It was kind of like for Ellie's mum, you're born here, you should live here. What you're going off jetting off to Spain for? It was like you're frowned upon, really, I suppose.
Yeah.
And I know certain like Leek and certain places in and around Stoke have got that same kind of vibe, I suppose.
Yeah.
Very.
It's all towny.
There's force and against for that, isn't there? There's certainly positives and negatives on it. Yes. It is that we probably lost a lot of that community. However, you also don't want everybody knowing your business and stuff. Really, you want you want the community, but you want people at arm's length as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you want a bit of privacy as well.
Yeah,
you be able to do your own thing.
Yeah. And then we eventually moved back to Stoke.
Did you move back with Ellie's mum then?
Well, we weirdly moved down separately, but like kind of on the same page. So I suppose it was a bit weird in that sort of sense, really. I think Ruth's parents weren't living there. Other family members were, and I suppose Ellie missing, that grandparent sort of influence and stuff that. You start thinking about that, don't you? So we moved down separately, like not together, but we've always like co-parented. Really, really well.
Right. Okay.
We're mum and dad, whether we're together or not, and we're always not always, but 95% of the time singing off the same hymn sheet.
Yeah, and you guys have always been quite good with the co-parenting side of things. It's never really been, at least not as long as I've known you. It's always been quite good.
It has, it has. It's funny as well because like one of the things I think you get a lot on that is you're really lucky to have that, and it's like this doesn't look like this is like
it takes a lot of
hard work, sacrifice, biting your tongue, compromise, admitting when you're wrong, like working through stuff. It's not. I think it's that sort of downplays it when people go, you're lucky. It's like you got to make it work, haven't you?
Yes, and it's realizing that there's more to the world, and it's not just you, and it's less selfishness and stuff like that.
Definitely, man. With that person in mind.
Yes, it's that collective goal. It's like co-founder, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's a weird co-founder situation where the business still exists, but you guys aren't co-founders anymore. But you got to work like co-founders.
Yeah, definitely.
Because of the sake of the business. Do you think there was a bit of influence with her and you writing these books then, or was this just about your mental health at the time during COVID?
I think that that sort of feeling of school, of what we sort of spoke about, of having that not having that direction. The influence really for that book was to get out to people that if a dream's come to you, which for me it was writing that book, was you've got to pursue it, and like what will happen is same with setting up your business, or whether you go into athletics or guitar playing. Like one of the examples I use in there is that there's amazing musicians who work in factories, there's amazing business owners who work for other people, and because they haven't had that encouragement to have this Suraj, or that sort of like it's one person who's gone, you can do it, and I mentioned at school that I wanted to write a book, and the teacher kind of said like, that's more of like a hobby. You need to basically be a little bit more realistic, like, and it sort of shattered that dream for a long time, which I think is, I blame that. Maybe it's just blaming it that like that is why I was going from pillar to post. I kind of knew what I wanted to do, but I let somebody else talk me out of it, rather than just going. But
someone else's glass ceilings.
What's in the book is a lot of that stuff that happened anyway, so it wouldn't be in there if I had taken that clear cut. And then
that's
maybe not
hard, isn't it? And we'll come back to the book thing, but that's one of the hardest things personally I have in life, because I've had so many different things, through GCSEs and A levels, and then all the stuff that I had to, because I never got told about apprenticeships or anything like that. It was never a thing, and I absolutely love cars, absolutely love engines. But it was never really open to me that you could do anything like that.
Right.
And that's one of the hardest things to understand and get over in life, is that, but you had to go through those things to get to where you're at today.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't be the same person.
No.
And therefore you wouldn't be living the life that you're living. You wouldn't have the dreams that you have, the passions that you have, if it wasn't for the fact that you had to go around that way instead of that way.
100%, man.
And it's hard. You kind of got to get over it, haven't you, really?
Yeah, you've got to, I think. You've got to real. But I think it's like, when you're going through it, that like, I don't know what to do or something. It feels like what am I going to do? Where am I going to go? Or like you said, when, you're going through that tough time. However, when you look back in hindsight, you think, well, that's exactly why that needed to happen, because now this is happening. That's led me on to this. That's led me on to this, and I wouldn't think this way about this had I not experienced that. So,
what I'm quite bitter about still is the fact where it is the teachers and the lecturers and stuff that give you stupid guidance,
right,
or tell you can't do anything, because I'm like, you're the one that's supposed to be encouraging us. You're the one that's supposed to be guiding us and going, do this, do that. And I just think you've been given this responsibility. I'm not saying all teachers are the same, because I've had some wicked ones. But that sort of stuff, I'm still bit, and like a lot of students still to this day be told that's just ridiculous. And it's like, my nephew, 5 years old, he wants to be a YouTuber.
Right.
And still at this point, people our age are teaching them and going, that's crazy. But it's not.
No, it's
in
not.
Their world and in their time.
It's not.
We never had that.
No.
So it might sound crazy in the 90s to go, I want to be a YouTuber. It would have sounded really stupid. But
of course,
we need to move with the times.
And I
think
so much options available.
Yeah, you do what you want, but you always could do what you want.
That little scene from Pursuit of Happiness, and Will Smith's on the roof playing basketball with his son.
Yes,
and his son like goes for a shot, says he wants to be a basketball player, and Will Smith says, "No, because you're like your dad, you're not tall enough." And the lad walks away with his head down, and he realizes what he's just said, doesn't he? And he goes and says, "Don't ever let anybody, including me, put you out of doing what you want to do. Like you go and do it. Don't let anybody." And I love that. He's realised that that's exactly what he's had all his life, and now he's doing the same to his son.
But also love that there's that dropping of the ego to go, even me.
Yeah.
Because even as a dad, sometimes you can just say those things.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh damn, I just actually said. Yeah. And then we don't realise how the effect that it has over time, because what the teachers have said and what our parents say still affect us. And we're in our 30s, 40s, and 50s, 60s, whatever.
Yeah, Ellie said about going studying abroad, and she said she'd come to a later date and said something about going studying in Africa, and I was like, well, you need to like slow down, and then check myself, and it was like her mum was like, well, I'm surprised your dad said that, because he's encouraging this, and I'm like, I'm just hearing like, oh, I want to go here, or want to do this.
Structural planning.
Part of it is part of he's worried. It's like, oh, it's my little girl, but it's not your little girl. That's like, just what do you mean you're going Africa? You're already going America. So I had to check myself. And when we sort of actually sat down and spoke about it, it was like, just take these opportunities, but think about them. Don't just grab them. You're
plan them
ultimately
out,
you're there for study. As well as enjoy yourself and take these experiences, but ultimately, as long as this does, and we had that conversation yesterday, because you mentioned about going on this summer camp, and I said, just as long as this isn't impacting your studies, remember why you're there. If this is enhancing that's amazing, but just remember what you go, because she knows what she wants to do, which is amazing. I didn't have a clue. You know what you want to do, you know where you want to go, so just make sure that is still the focus. Have a good time. Take these other experiences, but ultimately, you realise why you're there, because it's costing you money. You're going to be paying this off for a while. It's a lot take on board. But I like how, and me or her mum didn't have that. I like she's known this is what I want to do. This is where I want. it's moved a little bit, but it's always been quite. This is what I want to do. This is where I want to go. So that, like going back to what we said earlier, that has always created the next step. It might be that it changes, but at least she knows. At least she knows the next step. This is my next step. It might be that actually I don't really want to go into that, but I've got to the next step.
Yeah, and you just picked up on a point there. The change, and it's always something for me that was the hardest thing,
right. Because
I had that strict structure of school, high school, GCSEs, A levels, degree, lawyer. That was the path that was sort of laid out for me, and that was the way I thought, and that was the hardest thing for me, because I just had that drummed into me for years and years and years. The hardest part, and why I still to this day suffer a lot with identity crisis, is because of that. Because I'm going, well, it's almost like, at school when they tell you got to pick something, and you go, right, that's it. Yeah, that's my life focus now. That's what I've got to do. Yeah. But you don't, and you can actually move and change.
Well, the weird thing is as well, and like you say, it comes from that sort of bias and that thing. The weird thing is like, I've had to stop myself from talking her out of going down that route, wanting to do the entrepreneurial journey. You can go into what you want. You meet so many people. So like, it's like, no, this is what she wants to do. So that's a lie. What I have tried to say, and this has probably come from the COVID times, is like, don't necessarily rely on one stream of income. If you're going go for it down the job route and go, then do a bit of investing or get a little like passion project on the side, because it's like COVID, I think, showed how everything can just be whipped from underneath you in one full swoop. Really, if you're completely reliant on one thing.
I think you're bang on, and I think this is something where I love that you've brought this up, because being a person who's running a CIC that isn't about profit. Although you still run it as a business, of course, still needs to make money.
Yeah.
Because you've got to give money to the cause and stuff.
Yeah.
But this is where I think we describe it as an entrepreneurial mindset. I think it should be basics, where we tell kids, if your passion is to help the homeless or to help young children and help young men with their mental health, right, that's what you need to do. However, there needs to be a bit of a block here where you can go, well, at least I can pay for my bills.
Yeah.
Otherwise, all you're going to do is either going to do that and be piss poor.
Yeah.
Or you're just going to then have a job for the rest of your life that you hate.
Completely.
No one ever really tells you about the in-between. No. And no one strategizes with you to go, okay, so what can we get you where you've invested that your basics are covered? So even for the next 3 months, if your passion project is just pure passion, you know that you can go back home and there's still beans on toast.
Yeah.
And the lights are still on and there's not a sign on the door saying get out.
A bit of a controversial sort of topic, but like I've seen people working for charities who've needed the charities that they're working for. And it's like you can be that sort of focused on doing good that you're actually doing yourself. Like the opposite really. And it is that, isn't it, Suraj? I think it's having your passion, but turning it into something that is actually got to be profitable. It's like the old, as cliche as it is, you can't pour from an empty cup. No. And you can't, can you? No. You can't help other people if you aren't ultimately helping yourself first. Yeah. Like that's like the bottom line.
And it's great if your passion project, let's say my passion project just happens to be that I like to help people that are scaling up their businesses. Yeah. So I can then go, right, from that, I've got this legal and strategy expertise. I've done business before, so why don't I package stuff up? And then I get fulfillment as well from landing wicked clients and helping them. And I'm going, okay. And I moved from the one, I want to be that business that's a multi-billion pound business to now I want to be the one that helped that business get to multi-billions.
Definitely, man.
So
we've had it where, you're a CIC, you're a non-profit. Yeah. So it's the expectation is that you've got to come in and do this for nothing. It's like no. That's not that know. And like when you're in that, like you talk about that sort of like identity crisis and stuff. When you're feeling that sort of like, well, I just want everybody to like, you jump at these. I'll do it for free. I'll do it for nothing.
Yeah.
Do it for
they'll take advantage of it.
And then your value, and you're like, no. Yeah. And then they're like, what? And it's like, no. It's like, well, I tell you what, like go in and ask Tesco if you can have a basket of shopping for free. See if they'll give you that for nothing.
And it's a big, and it's extremely controversial. But I'm going to say it is the reason why a lot of these charities collapse are not successful, or the people within the charities end up needing that support because they're not run like businesses.
100%.
And I've always said this to you, and we just said it at CIC, but it's got to be seen as a business. It has to be seen as a business. And you've
need
to make sure
you've got to generate.
You need to be selfish and go, well, I need to be in a good place mentally, physically, and from a business financial perspective to run this CIC to help people, which then fulfills me.
100%.
But then how stupid would I be? Oh, it collapses because the government won't give us money. You can't rely on the government giving you money. You can't rely on the government for anything. Let's get real, right? And you can't. You need to get it. And this is where it is. You've got to be business minded with it. You've got to be a business person.
100%.
To run that thing. And have it continue going on.
And you've got to, get over that thing as well. That like you can't help people and get paid for helping people, because it's like this. And I've always found this quite strange. You look at like working with machinery, working with those jobs, looking at them from jobs, not necessarily from a business perspective, are a lot higher paid than people who are working with people. These are people. Like these are like people's lives in your hand, and you're paying somebody more for press a button and pick a part up than you are to actually guide and support people. And they wonder why crazy stuff's happening in these care homes or these. Like, because you haven't put enough value on your staff to actually.
It's just a robot.
Yeah, just a robot. Like these,
and it's those people will need mental health support.
Yeah.
Because what they're doing is pressing that button all day, every day.
Yeah.
And they've got that headset on, which means they've got no sensory perception as to what's going on around them. Can't have a conversation with anyone, which is a basic need of human nature. Everybody needs that. Yes. Yeah. You need that in life.
Yeah.
And you need to have, people that, and it is. It's that weird circle, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it is. That's where society's money driven.
Yeah.
As opposed to having an impact on people and the way things work.
And getting it sort of twisted up, isn't it? Like that impactful work, but earning money from that impactful work rather than just driven by the money. One of the I really like sort of how Andy Frisella was talking. So he built a multi-million-dollar business.
Yeah.
And what he'd said is, it was all about, they were 18, they were 19, and it was all about being ballers. They wanted a Lamborghini.
Oh, yeah.
They wanted this,
like everyone at 18, 19,
they wanted this,
right?
They wanted this amazing, cool life. And as time went on, and it just didn't materialise.
Yeah.
They went their separate ways. One was going to be an airline pilot, and one was going to do a carpet cleaning franchise with his dad. And he pulled his back out. What they run a supplements company, but they've grown it massively. They've got a lot more to it than that. And when they sat down, he was like, I don't really want to go and be an airline pilot. I love what we're doing.
Yeah.
I said, well, I don't really want to be a cop. He said, well, what do you love about what we're doing? And I said, I love it when the people are coming in and the transformation, we've changed their lives. Why don't we just focus on that? And he said the mad thing was, the business that year grew 100% because it was all focused on let's help the person. Following year, same focus, same intent, it grew another 100%. And he said the irony was, as soon as we focused on helping those people, the business grew anyway.
Yeah, you focus on the wrong things.
Yeah.
You're just focusing on turnover.
It was focusing on the self. Yeah. What am I getting from it rather than what am I giving from it?
Yeah.